Hey, you guys, welcome to Alex and Andy Live, coming to you again from Shanghai, China. I think today is day number 52 of citywide lockdown here in Shanghai, although a lot of people are being allowed out again. Alex and I, unfortunately, are both still inside. But anyway, you're tuning into our daily live stream, and today we're going to give you all the latest information about the situation here in Shanghai as it pertains to COVID-19. So yeah, it is Sunday, 22nd of May, 2022. Welcome along. Coming up on today's show, obviously, we have the latest numbers. 52 new symptomatic cases, 570 new asymptomatic. That's quite a fall from yesterday, which is good news. And we had 0 community infections again today. Well, for yesterday, technically, so it is the second day in a row. Unfortunately, though, we did have 3 new COVID-related deaths reported for yesterday. That brings the total to 584 during this outbreak. Today, if you were lucky enough, you may have been one of the ones who took part in the metro, 4 metro lines, as well as more than 200 bus lines are reopening today in Shanghai. We will have a video with one of our colleagues who took a ride, and she's also going to join us for a chat as well. More big news today. That confusing system, the confusing 3-tier lockdown system, is being given the boot finally. So it will be replaced again with the old system, which is easy enough to understand, high, medium, and low risk, which makes a lot more sense. We'll chat with our colleague Yang Jian about the details very shortly. In international news, Scott Morrison, the Australian or former Australian Prime Minister, conceded defeat yesterday in the country's 2022 federal election. I think they're still waiting. Sorry, my cat's going crazy. Still waiting to put together a new government. Anyway, that is what we'll look at today on the show. But for now, Alex, how's it going?
Not bad. Another day. Actually, people in my compound are, I guess, tentatively being allowed outside. I did not go outside today. It's extremely restrictive. It's each building at a particular time throughout the day, and we're only really allowed to go to this one supermarket, which my neighbors who did go were nonplussed and unimpressed by it. So it seems like for me now that because the delivery services have opened up, I've noticed that a lot of restaurants, some of my favorite restaurants, are now obviously no dining in, but I can use Ulama, which is a food service. I'm sure you're familiar with it. Anyone who's lived in China in the last few years will know what I'm talking about. And you can order food from your favorite restaurants delivered to your door, sort of like an Uber Eats sort of situation. And some of my favorite restaurants have been popping back up onto that. And so it looks like I can get things like pizza and tacos again. And so maybe. I don't know if they'll be hot by the time I can actually get my hands on them. That's the only thing I'm worried about. But I'll skip the dingy supermarket for now, and because I'm happy to be able to get some stuff like that, hopefully.
That's nice. I did notice, I know this is not at all a good example for tacos, but I did notice Taco Bell are up and running. You can order from there. But yeah, as I mentioned, Taco Bell not really a great example of tacos, I'd imagine. You probably have some much better suggestions, Alex, in terms of that.
Yeah, there are definitely a lot of better places for tacos. Taco Bell is just like your junk food fast food taco, as we know. But there are some really good taco places in China.
现在能听见吗？虎娟，现在能听见吗？现在能听见吗？这个太尴尬了，我的天哪！哎呀 ，OK. Oh, Alex, you're back too.
Yeah.
Alex, can you hear me?
Anyway, slight hiccup, live show, everyone. As those of you who've been watching us regularly know, both of our internet connective situations, I think because there's so many people at home right now using up all the bandwidth in our buildings, are a little bit touch and go, hit or miss sometimes. But we're back now, hopefully for the rest of the day. Anyway, moving on.
It really peed me off, Alex. I can't get over how peed off I get when things are not consistent. Like, if you're going to be bad, just be bad the whole time. If you're going to be good the whole time. Don't go choppy on me. It's really annoying. Anyway, sorry, you guys. Like Alex said, it is live streaming. We'll move along. I was going to show you guys a really quick image of my because last night, all caca, bro, all caca. Last night, you can probably guess what caca means. Last night, I showed you guys how to make how I was making some Hong Shao Rou, and I posted the picture on Twitter, which actually went down quite well. So there's my picture, which actually I was surprised got quite a few likes, up to 864 likes. And I was even I showed you before, Alex. Yeah, my Hong Shao Rou was shared by a Hong Shao Rou Twitter account.
Apparently, Hong Shao Rou has a Twitter, or it's a Hong Shao Rou aficionado who rates and sort of analyzes the pictures of the dish that people put on Twitter, which is pretty funny. I was mistaken, Andy, yesterday when I thought I must have just misheard you. I thought you said Bushroe, which is a thinner slice. Oh, you did? Oh, okay.
No, wait. Okay. It's confusing, man. I said Wu Hua Rou. Wu Hua Rou is actually the meat you use, but I said Hui Guo Rou. Hui Guo Rou, which it's not.
Oh, that's what I was talking. Okay, yes.
Yeah.
Hui Guo Rou is something a little bit different than this. This is Hong Shao Rou is I think both of them are extremely good.
Delicious.
But what we're looking at here, what Andy made, is Hong Shao Rou for sure. That's definitely what that is.
Yeah, no, Hui Guo Rou is the thinner slices, but they both use Wu Hua Rou. So it's really tough because in English we just don't have so many words to describe. We would just say pork. Braised pork.
Right. But of course, a lot of things in China, the dishes are really sort of, they really, what's the word for them? 讲究. They're very,
Yes,
They take it very
considered.
seriously. Yeah,
Yes,
about a lot of the differences and subtleties in the food. So yeah,
right. And a lot of them are also very based on people. Like there's some dishes like um, maybe not mapo tofu. There's another one that's someone's name. I can't remember. But anyway, moving along. We'll get back to the topic at hand. We're going to chat really quickly with our colleague Hu Jun. But not Hu Jun, sorry, Yang Jian.
yeah.
Yang Jian, who's going to talk to us about the official situation here. I'll just find him. Sorry, you guys. I've been thrown off because of all this. Hey, Hu Jun, Yang Jian.
Yeah.
Hello, hello.
Hey man.
Sorry. I see today that the city is finally getting rid of that terrible. I know you probably won't agree with me, but I thought it was a terrible 3-tier system, very confusing, and we're moving back to the old system, which is much easier to understand: high, medium, low risk. Can you tell us what's behind that and how will the switch take place?
Yes, the high, medium, and the low risk areas designation is a unified standard nationwide, and which was made by China State Council, and it had been used in Shanghai since the coronavirus outbreak in 2020, and this designation was replaced by our current locked down, controlled, and precautionary areas by the end of March. After Pudong finished the city's phase one lockdown. And the city government introduced these new 3 areas as a follow-up measure for Pudong, which was later promoted citywide and till now. And the city's vice mayor has said the current 3 area designation was only for emergency conditions, while the high, medium, and the low risk areas designation is for the normalized COVID prevention and control. So the city's health commission official announced today that it will take 2 phases for the cities to restore the high, medium, and the low risk areas as the number of daily infections began declining again. And the phase one is from now till the end of May. And the target is to further reduce the size of the locked down and the controlled areas and make them become precautionary areas, which has included about 85% of the city's population. And during the second phase from next month, all the precautionary areas will become low risk areas. And currently in the city, a village in the outlying Qingpu district has been newly rated as a medium risk area after reporting 3 community transmissions 3 days ago. And other formally rated medium risk areas are being downgraded to low risk both today and yesterday. And the meaning of the locked down, controlled, and precautionary areas is to make sure all the infections and their contacts will be put under quarantine immediately and won't cause any further transmission. And its ultimate purpose is to eliminate community transmission citywide, which has been achieved. And this designation has helped the city to effectively contain the spread of the coronavirus, even during the peak of the resurgence. And meanwhile, the meaning of the high, medium, and the low risk area is to ensure the normal operation of the large majority of the city and the normal life and the work of most citizens. And people only need to avoid going to the medium or high risk areas. So it is a quite positive sign that not only the city's transport and the business are returning to normal, but also its COVID prevention measures, which are being shifted from emergency to normalcy. Andy.
All right, yeah, a lot of information there. We appreciate that. That's good. I wanted just to ask you one more thing about, of course, yesterday we discussed, or in the previous few days, we discussed the metro and bus system partially reopening. That happened today. How did it go? And is there any sort of further information or analysis from that?
Okay. Today is the first day operation of the first batch of restored metro and the bus lines. And according to statistics, most metro passengers are domestic railway travelers to leave Shanghai and return hometowns, while most bus passengers went to local hospitals. And among the 4 reopened lines, the Metro Line 10 became the busiest, and most people were rushing to the terminal station, the Hongqiao railway station. And some carriages of Line 10 were full of passengers in the early morning, who were holding luggage, and some were wearing the hazmat suit for the long metro and the railway journey. And some of them are migrant workers who cannot find jobs under the city's lockdown, and some are students at local universities who want to reunite with families. And about the operation of the other three lines, 3, 6, and 16, they received fewer passengers on the first day of operation, apart from the line 6, which reaches the Shanghai Children's Medical Center and the Renzi Hospital in Pudong area. And many doctors and nurses took the line 6 in the morning to return home after staying at hospitals for at least several weeks. And many other metro riders of other lines, they just transferred to the Metro Line 10 and to reach the Hongqiao railway station. Despite it takes several hours to transfer among the only 4 lines in operation, it is still the easiest way to get to the station right now. And previously some railway passengers had to ride the shared bikes or even walk for several kilometers to reach the railway station. And about the railway operation, the Hongqiao railway station handled 30,000 departing travelers today, which is 10% of the normal capacity, but has increased a lot comparing with a month ago. And most of the railway passengers took the reopened Metro Line 10 to reach the railway station. So from tomorrow, to cap the rising demands of railway travelers, the city's metro operator will increase 3 trains on to Hongqiao railway station of the Metro Line 10, and they will set off from 6 a.m. and the other trains will still set off at 7 a.m. and operate in an interval of 20 minutes till 8 p.m. And the metro operator said the venue code scanning and the inspection went smoothly on the first day, and the passengers are suggested scanning the code before entering the metro station, and the QR code has been put up everywhere. And another tips for metro passengers is the Hongqiao railway station and the Hongqiao T1 and the T2 terminal station of the Line 10 only serve railway or air travelers who must have the tickets of the day. And also a local disease control doctor offered some tips for metro passengers. He said some excessive self-protection is unnecessary because of the ventilation of the metro stations and the trains can be insured, and just wear a medical or surgery mask correctly is enough, and there is no need to wear the N95 mask or even the hazmat suit. And metro passengers are also suggested to bring a hand sanitizer with them and disinfect hands frequently, which is more important. And also, the doctor said with the further reopening of the metro network, citizens should be cautious about the underground shopping malls attached to the metro stations and avoid spending too long time there. Alex.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yang Jian, thank you so much. Sorry for getting your name wrong before.
Oh, looks like Annie's breaking up a little bit, but yes, Yang Jian, thank you very much.
Thank you.
And we'll chat with you again tomorrow. I'm sure that's what Andy's saying. So. Thanks. We'll talk to you soon.
See you then.
All right, there. Good information from Yang Jian. Andy, there we go. Good information from Yang Jian. Again, yes, so it seems as though some of the metro lines have actually opened up as they were scheduled to. Including line 10. Now, line 10 is the line. I'm sorry, if Andy, can you hear me? So, so line 10 is one that goes to the Hongqiao railway station, which is at the western end of line 10. And a lot of, as Yang Jian said, a lot of people who are not from Shanghai, but live and work here or study here or here for other reasons, are returning to their hometowns in other parts of the country, because a lot of people, if they are, my wage workers or whatever, maybe maybe their place of employment has been the work there has been suspended, or for whatever reason, they are electing to return home to their hometowns. Okay, Andy, I think we might be able to hear you now, maybe, hopefully.
Am I back? Am I back?
Sort of. Yes.
Sort of. Oh, this is so annoying. Anyway,
good. Go ahead.
Here's that. Sorry, I just don't get it.
Right.
I've got like 4 different connections, and none of them are winding. Anyway, this is that list that Young Jen was talking about, the low, medium, and high risk setting. I don't know if you were just talking about it, Alex, but basically.
But go ahead.
Oh, awesome. Basically, yeah, we just want to avoid high and medium risk, and there's the details on the screen there. If you're in low risk, that is just everybody. That's the normal setting, and that means you don't need to do anything. Anyone else, medium risk or high risk, if you have any cases, you'll need to stay at home like we have been, and do PCR tests every day for 14 days. So yeah.
Yep, that's the deal. Again, I think the change is not huge. It's just changing of the verbiage from whatever it was before to high, medium, and low, which I think is much easier to understand and much better. And so our conversations when we discuss this particular 3-tiered risk system will be much more clear and easy to understand going forward.
Yep, definitely important. Hey, let's switch to our first video and see if that fixes things up. Who knows? It's the next episode, rather, in our Away From Home series. This one is called Sheltered, and it's about the city's first pet shelter that's been set up in Huangpu district to give needy cats and dogs a temporary home during COVID-19 lockdown. Now, I think this is too late, obviously, 2 months too late. So this should have happened a long, long time ago. In Chinese, we have a saying, 孩子死了牛奶来了. 或者孩子死了奶来了. Basically, it's just too late, sorry. But anyway, I'll play the video. But it just kind of, to be honest, it pees me off that this has taken so long to be dealt with. But yeah, let's watch the video and come back and have some toxic positivity about it.
All right. Well, let's hope the connection works anyway, so we can do that.
待会儿再搭一个帐篷，把它封掉，把这个封掉。对，封掉。然后呢，这个地方也用板封掉，这个位置也封掉。
带头带尾用了3天时间把这个方舱建成了，等着狗狗进来了。后期我宠物医院的医生都出来了，因为什么道理？就怕这个狗狗有的应急啊，猫有的应急，后面要有医疗团队保障的嘛。一共带起来大概有10个人。这最主要就是针对阳性的、针对未接的，它不能转运出去。主人答应了，我们再街道派车把那个宠物拉过来。那么等他们复阴了，到时候再跟居委会联系，居委会跟街道说，街道再跟我联系，再把这个狗领回去。我们又是丁克，不养孩子，专门养狗、养猫的。你想我们有多么喜欢宠物啊！这些志愿者都冒着风险，偷从家里出来的。
一个要傻了，一个要吃了，最重要就是我要自由。
我跟我媳妇儿2个人就喜欢宠物，再一个现在没有班嘛，也比较难，所以说我们想尽一下自己的一个个人的能力，最大的能力去帮助这些，因为我们在家每天看到这些宠物啊，我们也是比较担心的。正好有这样的一个渠道跟机会，过来以后我们就会给它贴一个个人信息的一个标签，给它放在笼子上面。以后会有更多的一些志愿者会加入我们这个大家庭当中，然后看到它每一个的习性，还有它的一个宠物啊名字，就会说是按照它的习惯去给它喂食尽粮，这种的是这样的一个。
好的，乖，不要叫了，哎，不要出声，不要叫了啊，乖的，不要出声，乖的啊。侬看到你现在这米罗弄了呀啥么子弄啊？再翻套你就没事吃了啊！来，像现在这个时候嘛，主人理解就好了呀。 有不理解的呀。有的主人会觉得啊，你应该怎么样怎么样啊，我的狗要怎么样怎么样怎么样的。
为了这个不是要赚钱，也不是要什么，我只是做一份我们该做的呀。我们因为什么道理不？如果我面临了呢？有个人能出来这样的，我的东西都，我家的宝贝都能交给他，你说我放心了吧？觉得这样去做值得。主人在等你们了啊！再见啊！再见再见！让他们开心死了都，回家了，来关门了，走了走了，拜拜啊！
已经出脱了，好吧。
谢谢他们在我们关键的时候伸出援手帮了我们啊，谢谢。
Oh, so nice. Really good to see.
Yes, it is. Yeah, I mean, it's good to see that. Excuse me. It's good to see that. And, you know, obviously, I think we would have liked to have seen it earlier, but it is that it's happening now. Obviously, you know, you see that those pets are being taken care of and returned to their owners when their owners are discharged from the quarantine centers or places like that. And so that's good. And I think, you know, the point that the man made, the owner or the guy who runs the interviewee made was that, you know, he's doing it because he thinks it's the right thing to do. And you know, what if he ends up testing positive at some point during this outbreak? You know, he would feel that really, really happy if someone were able to help him this way. And so I think it's really good that he's doing that, for sure.
Yes, no, I think it is. It is really awesome that they're doing this. I just, like I said before, I wish this could have been addressed a long time ago, 6 weeks ago, when people were really, really, really worried about what would happen to their pets if they had to go into central quarantine or things like that. So it's good that this is happening now. It's really awesome, but I just wish it could have happened sooner. But
yeah.
Anyway, let's move on to our next video, Alex, because we have quite a few videos to get through today. So what I want to do is... What I want to do is instead of remove, instead of talking about each video too long, I'll just go to the next one. So next up we have a video which is with our colleague who was riding the metro today and some bus lines, and she is going to join us straight after the video, and we'll have a chat with her about how it was to head back. In case you didn't know, today, Sunday the 22nd, some limited public transportation reopened again here in Shanghai. So let's check it out, and then we'll have a chat with her as soon as the video is done.
Okay.
I've got to figure out which video it is first.
All right.
That one. awesome stuff there from our colleague Lu Feiran, who was lucky enough, to head out today and be able to take the metro and ride the bus there, and just some images to see. Obviously, Alex, you said you're technically allowed out, but you didn't go out. Well, luckily for me, or unluckily for me, I'm in the only central city district, Jing'an, which is totally no one is allowed to go out. So yeah, yay for me. But let's bring in our colleague Lu Feiran now and see. I don't think she's ready. Let's see. You ready?
You there?
Hi, Andy. Can you hear me?
Oh, we can hear you. Yeah,
okay.
That's better.
Okay.
Hey, so
Hi.
you took the metro and the bus today after nearly 2 months, which is pretty awesome. So I just wondered, where did you go, and also what was the atmosphere like on board?
Okay. I went to Shanghai South Railway Station and then to People's Square. The railway station was quite busy, as many people wanted to take their first chance in 2 months going home. But on the other hand, the People's Square was very, very quiet. Actually, I've never seen such a empty and quiet People's Square before. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I can imagine. So I did see that there were actually, a few people around. Were there more people than you expected just throughout the entire day and your riding time that you saw? More people than you thought, yeah.
Hello?
Yes, can you hear me? I said, were there more people than you expected there to be out on the subway, on the metro, or on the bus? Has she lost me?
Oh, Steffi, can you hear us?
Not sort of, but not quiet.
Not particularly well. Okay.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you. Great.
Okay.
I'll ask you one more time, so if you can hear me. Were there more people on the subway than you expected?
I think the connection is a bit weak.
Can't hear us very well.
Okay, sorry, Steffi. What we'll do is we'll see if we can get you to come back in again, maybe, and see how it goes. I think the connection is a bit off, but basically, here is Steffi's video. You just saw it there. Sorry, it was going a bit choppy during the playback there, but here is some awesome video there from what is a very ordinary thing normally, but for us it's quite unique, being able to go outside and head onto the public transportation. We'll see if we can get Steffi back.
We can get her
go
back.
ahead, Alex.
Yeah, I was just saying it was weird. Obviously for me, hearing the 下车请注意安全 stuff like that is something that it's just like a bad. It's like part of the soundtrack of my life normally. It's something that I hear multiple times every day. But after not having heard it for 52 days, it's a little bit weird to hear it again. It's just sort of, and then knowing that it's not. I mean, obviously, only of the 20 lines, only 4 are open, and not including line 2, which is the line with the highest ridership by far. The main central line is line 2, and then. Not only that, but just knowing that, instead of having normally the cars come every 3 to 6 minutes, depending on the line and time of day, and 20 minutes in between, and they're, really empty. It's a bit weird, but hey, at least it's better than where we were before.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, I've got another video up now as well, Alex, to show you the outside. This is a video just taken by our colleague Sun Chao, who was obviously out and about, and he also filmed the Normandy Apartments, which is a famous, that should be coming up. There we go. The Normandy Apartment, the one that I said looks kind of like the Fifth Avenue building in New York.
Yeah.
So yeah, look how busy it is.
Yeah, there's some people out and about. It looks like obviously that is not in Jing'an, so people are allowed to run around if they are in one of the green areas. Again, as I mentioned before, in my compound and in most that I've seen, there are serious restrictions in terms of in terms of when people can go outside between a certain time and a certain time, only for X number of hours. And it's still, even though people are outside, there are a lot. Most establishments are closed except for a few select supermarkets or convenience stores and things like that. So I do think a lot of these people are just sort of going out to get a taste of it again, because they've been locked in for so long. Maybe to have a jog. Obviously, I live in a larger compound, so if I want to have a jog, I can do it inside my compound. But Andy, as I know you live in one,
Yeah.
People just getting out riding, you know. It looks like we've got a lot of people doing that
Oh,
here.
I think it might be the connection.
It's okay. I think I'm okay. I hope. All right. I know that we've got, I'm not sure if you can hear me, Andy. I know that we've got another video about different barricades. Throughout this process, there have been a lot of barricades put up, sort of blocking off different districts and sub-districts from others, sort of segmenting the city into different small sections to try and contain. And I think there's been some change in the way that that's going. Here we go. This video.
我们根据上级部门的规定啊，在11点半，我们对全区40个路口的硬隔离，我们进行一个拆除。明天上午呢，我们可以看到这个路口基本恢复到能够往常的一个很正常的情况。但是我们对通过路口的社会车辆，还有外卖快递小哥的那些电瓶车啊，我们还是按照原来的要求，我们进行一个查验。那么查验他们的通行资格啊，还有他们的核酸码啊。
明天其实本市会有部分的轨道交通和公交线路会恢复通行。那么涉及到我们黄埔区的呢，有我们的轨道交通10号线，还有38条我们的公交线路。像我们现在所在的四川路桥，那么明天呢就会有我们的37路从这里经过。我们黄埔公安部门也是根据要求对。 这个恢复的交通线路所涉及的路口和路段的路障进行一个全部的这样的一个清除，并且在区和区交界的路口，我们会派民警进行一个这个固守，然后呢，我们对公交车呢也会有一个快速的通道。
我感觉我现在平均每天单量还是比较稳定的，就是送的比较远，就是我做同城的。 我经常走这座桥，这座桥很频繁会走。我就是感觉，如果封路的话，就会绕很远。就是客户点外卖都感觉要等很久。
现在没有隔离了，你觉得怎么样？
那非常方便了，对客户来说，他会更快的拿到外卖。对我自己来说，效率更高了，可以送更多。
Nice. Can you hear me, Alex?
Yep.
Honestly, I'm about ready to give up. I hope that the lockdown can be lifted so we can stop doing this stream with such bad internet, to be honest.
Right.
But nice video to see there. I noticed the Sichuan Road Bridge, a very historic area there with the post office building there that was opened up again this morning, which is great to see. And I never realized that a lot of these delivery guys can't just freely cross the bridges across the Suzhou Creek. For example, the creek, the bridge right near my house, I live on the Suzhou Creek, and I wondered sometimes why my deliveries were, like he said, 绕很久, like go around in a circle, but now I kind of realized, but now there's no excuse.
Yeah, well, I live right on the Suzhou Creek as well, and yeah, sometimes that's happened, although I did get a few pretty quick deliveries over the last couple of days, but yeah, I think maybe this is why, you know, I gotta say, I hate barricades. Barricades are the worst. And so anytime you see them getting taken down, it's good. And, you know, I just think it is a positive sign if we can find one, and we're searching for them about where we're heading in the future. Because, you know, the longer that barricades like that stay up that prevent people from moving freely around the city, you know, the more we are in sort of the mode that we've been in, and the further we are away from whatever normality will look like in the future. And so I think, yeah, the more barricades, the more sort of stuff that's there that was never there before is the stuff that we want to see less of. That's kind of the way I feel about it personally.
No, I totally agree. Hey, I'm going to try and bring in our colleague Steffi again, Lu Feiran, and see if we can. Hey, can you hear us?
Hear us now?
Yes, I can. I can now.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
I was just. Yeah, we can hear you. I was just asking you. Obviously, you were out on the metro system and the buses today. Were there more people out than you expected?
Yes, definitely. I was worried yesterday that I might find an empty train, but today out of my expectation, there were quite a lot of passengers. Like I said, many people wanted to take a railway home, and I even met a man from Jiangsu province who didn't have a ticket with him, but he said he had been stuck in a hotel in Shanghai for nearly 2 months, and he wanted to try his luck at the station to see if anyone could sell a spare ticket to him.
Yeah.
So
nice. That's got to be an expensive stay in the hotel. Hey, I was wondering,
Yes.
also, do you have any? Because today, pretty much, you're an expert now on riding the metro again. Do you have any hints or tips for others who perhaps haven't been lucky enough to get back to public transport yet and are going to do so in this new climate?
Yes. Firstly, you should always check the time of your last PCR result, because you need a 48-hour negative report to enter either a metro station or a board-on bus. And secondly, you might want to check the arrival time of a train or a bus, because the interval is quite long. If you miss one, you might need to wait for another 20 minutes or even half an hour for the next one. And thirdly, just protect yourself. I think wear your masks, and if you want, you can wear a pair of gloves, because you might not want to touch the rails, the seats, the doors with your bare hands. Yes.
Awesome. Good advice there, Steffi. Good to get you back in and have a chat. And we will catch up with you back in the office, hopefully on June 1.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
See ya.
I think also important to note, like Yang Jian said, that you can bring some hand sanitizer with you if you don't want to wear gloves. And also he mentioned that the authorities said it's not necessary to wear a full hazmat suit. That's going a bit over the top. It's safe enough to just wear a mask and wash your hands regularly.
Yeah, that's good. I understand why the people, particularly the nurses and doctors and the people working in the quarantine centers, are wearing the Baymax or the hazmat suits. I wonder if it's not a little bit overkill for everyone in all neighborhoods to be doing it. But you know what? I guess it's just an extra safety measure. But I do think it's good to hear them say that it's not necessary to do that. Just if you want to hop onto the bus or on the train. So.
Yeah, but I can see kind of where people are worried, because like we've talked about before, people will be terrified of heading back into lockdown or heading into quarantine. So they'll probably be, quite comfortable going overboard, even in the increasing temperatures, wearing a Baymax suit. It's just not necessary, that's all. I think once I get back to it, a mask and hand washing will definitely be enough.
Right. I mean, that's what we've been doing for the last 2 years, right? And it worked for 2 years up until really recently.
Exactly.
And, I don't know how much of the spread that in March and April was due to. Well, obviously not in April. The subway's been closed since the beginning of April, but I don't know how much the subway or the bus system is to blame for it. But we were using the bus systems and the subways just as normal for the last 2 years, and so I think that masks have been mandated on the subway and on public transportation since the start of COVID-19 in 2020 here in Shanghai. And so we do have to wear a mask, and they are they've been very fastidious about sort of enforcing that. If they even see you pull your mask down to take a drink of your coffee, if you don't put it right back up, like that. That's. But
that's the subway noise.
Say again.
That's the subway noise we're used to.
Yeah, for the last 2 years. Yeah, not before that.
Exactly.
Anyway.
Okay, Alex. While we have a good connection, I reckon we should end the show and just catch up again tomorrow. Thank you guys so much for watching, and as usual, we'll see you back same time, same place tomorrow. Have a good evening.
All right, bye.
Bye-bye.